Yo, 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 what's up, you guys? This is Andrea 3 Stacks, and you're tuned in to a new episode of Overly Conversated on the delicious vinyl station powered by Dash Radio. Today, we have a very special guest in the building. If you're from LA, you already know who this is. Formerly of U.N.I, he's now an amazing solo artist and a songwriter for Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Done it all, man. Welcome to Thurz.
Hey.
Hey. I wish we had claps.
Yay.
That works.
Oh, man. Nah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate
No,
you.
thank you for coming, bro. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Everybody.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Oh,
No doubt.
It's Victoria V12 Victron.
It's your boy Santino McNaughton, aka Buttermilk Jesus. You know we in here.
Hey.
It's Rick R33KZ.
DJ Drolix.
Yes.
And
Get
you
it.
are, sir?
He's
My
Thurz.
name is Thurz.
Shout out to homie Drew.
Yeah.
Shout out to homie Don.
Yeah, shout out
Shout
Andrew.
out to homie Don.
Yes,
Don.
thank you. Holding
Don
it
out here
down.
visiting from Harlem.
Yo.
Yes, Dipset. All that.
Dipset.
All right, well, let's get it started.
Yeah.
So I read that you were first into hip hop because of Crisscross, and your uncle introduced you into like real hip hop, quote unquote.
Yeah, you know me, yeah.
So can you elaborate on that story? Like, what
Yeah.
happened? How did he introduce you? What did he introduce you to?
I'll say, okay. So yeah, Crisscross was very influential for me, man. I was a kid, growing up in Inglewood. You know, I saw them in cross colors with their clothes backwards, and I was like, Mom, I need these outfits. I need these fits. Will you please bless me with these fits? I want to rap like Crisscross and, MC Hammer. So there was like, the commercial successful artist that inspired me. My uncle was bumping De La Soul, NWA, Cypress Hill, and he would play that stuff for me at my grandma's house. So I was always intrigued by the beats and how these cats is rapping, and it just sounded very authentic. And my older brother, my stepbrother, we had a religious activity of videotaping Rap City. Every time it came on, so we'd videotape all the videos, all the freestyles, and all that. And he introduced me to Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest, Redman, Ice Cube, and a lot of just dope hip hop that's monumental and influenced me. The Roots. So yeah, the interest started with Crisscross, just seeing how they put their package together, and then the realness was introduced to me by my older family members. So that's kind of how everything started for me.
Well, he introduced you to all the right grooves.
Yeah.
Like, those are
Yeah,
essential.
I could've been lost out
Shout out to your uncle. Shout out to your
Right.
uncle.
My uncle and my brother, UT, Byron, what up?
Hey.
Yeah.
So you describe your music as designer music
Yeah.
because you tailor it to fit whatever mood you're in.
Well, tailor just to fit my life experience.
Right.
I mean, I use my life experience and I'll just tailor it to whatever the sonics are. So it's like I always wanted to be something real, pulled from, something that I've experienced or my peers have, and I just want it to be a truthful, testament or whatever it is. Just make somebody feel something. So when that term was coined when I did the designer EP, and we was doing like a lot of like funk infused music. So sparked there, and I was like, I'm gonna keep calling my shit designer. I like this. It sounds cool. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask because like LA Riot was so different.
yeah.
Like, what were the key elements between LA Riot and Designer EP, like that influence both of those albums?
For sure. Well, for LA Riot, that was off the cusp of the breakup, with U.N.I. So it was like, I was salty about it. 'Cause I was like, damn, I put all this energy into making this group pop. We was off the YouTube and MySpace pioneers with new videos and content that was received in ways that we didn't know you could put music out. And putting that footwork in and making those relationships with a lot of people in the industry, and then just having to stop. I was like, damn. So luckily at the time, Tomas, my boy Tomas, he was doing all our videos. He was doing research about the LA riots. And I just remember, when the LA riots broke out with my mom. So the fact that he was doing that inspired me. And I was like, talking to my mom about it. And we were right there when the riots broke out. Like on Florence and Normandy, coming from my grandma's house. She stayed on 55th Central. And we'd always drive down, Normandy to Florence and take Florence straight up to our apartment in Inglewood. So, driving down it, we just see police and riot gear, both sides of the street. People, in the street, upset, throwing shit, and it's a crazy time. So when he was doing the research, I just reflected back on that memory, and then I started doing more research about all the different variables that affected that event. The racial relations and the Korean liquor store owners, the miscommunications between the LAPD and the neighborhood. It was just a lot of tension. So when that popped off, it was just like crazy. So I was kind of angry at that time, just having something I built up for all the pieces, and I just connected it to that situation, and I was able to have interviews with people that lived in the city at that time, and those conversations just sparked a lot of different song ideas. So, me being from LA, being from Inglewood, it inspired this LA Riot in my head mentally, and I just wanted to express it musically, and that's how that project happened. Now with Designer EP, there was a lot of, I was in a happier space. I was doing like a lot of work with Red Bull at this time, producing shows over there, and then they entered me into their Sound Select program. So I just wanted to create music that it sounded like LA, but still had a lot of instrumentation behind it that nobody was doing at the time. Nobody was, Bruno Mars came out with some funk-infused, hits after the fact, but when we started it, nobody was really doing it. So I hooked up with this producer named Marlon Chords. Everybody knows him in LA. And a few of the homies, Dahi, Jay Pounds. And we cooked up, something that we felt was really special. And it represented what we were doing at the time. We were just kind of partying in the studios, drinking, going to events. I was throwing all these different parties. And yeah, man, that's how that project happened. So, I guess each of these projects just reflect different points in my career and how I was dealing, I guess how I was feeling emotionally, and I just was able to pull and reflect that in the music, so that was how those two projects happened.
Tight. Yeah, like the second one is so different. It's super funky, George Clinton, like super good vibes.
Yeah.
Both of them are tight, but yeah, there's definitely a spectrum there.
For sure.
So you were also featured on Kendrick's Overly Dedicated. You were on Bitch I Do This.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little behind the scenes with that track? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, I know Kendrick for a minute, man. His boy Dave Free we used to always get Dave Free into the standard parties.
Hollywood or downtown?
Downtown. So, we look out for him and J-Rock. Those are the homies, man.
Oh, wow.
And now they like doing it real big, So we used to always get them in. And Dave Free was like, real cool. So he introduced me to Kendrick's music before the EP came out. And I listened to it. I listened to the EP before, it was released. And I was just like, yo, this is tight. This dude is spitting. I like this. And then I think he had Bitch I Do This on there. Am I tripping? The original Bitch I Do This? I believe it's on the EP. Yeah. So I took a liking to it, and I started hitting the studio with Kendrick. So we cut a few records, and then he was like, yo, I'm about to do a remix of this song, Love to Get You, and your boy Jonas on there. I was like, let's fucking do it. And then we cut the record, and then right after that, I went on tour with Talib Kweli. So we started, I hit Kendrick up. I was like, yo, man, I love this. I do this record. Can we do this at the end of our set? Like, I know you're not here, but can we perform our part?
Let's go. Let's roll with it.
So we was like going around the country performing this record. And then every time we come to LA, we would bring him out to do the record. So like before a lot of people knew who Kendrick was, we had him on our back, and we was like, bringing him to shows at where is it, like the Nova, what the Nova is now.
Oh yeah.
At the Roxy. So it was opening up for like DJ Quick, opening up for 50 Cent. It was like, yo, we got to get Bradley and Kendrick out. Let's introduce everybody. We love this dude. We love him. So yeah, man, I definitely.
That's crazy.
Definitely been a fan of that dude for a minute. Yeah, definitely.
Thurz out here.
Definitely been a fan of that dude for a minute, And yeah, that's how I ended up on that record. Yeah.
That's cool. And you, West Coast music has kind of gone through different iterations, and for you represented something new, and now TDE is almost kind of bringing a new wave. Like, what do you see them doing in today's industry?
I just love the way they move as a record label, man. It's dope. It's kind of like reminiscent of Death Row and, You know, they definitely represent the West Coast in a great light. They have lyrical ability. You know, they're all characters. They're all entertaining, but they still have really great content and subject matter, you know, in their music. So, yeah, props to TDE, props on their success. You know, I think they'll definitely be here for a minute. And, yeah, SZA's dope as well. That's the homegirl. So, yeah, I love what they doing, love what they represent. And, you know, yeah, we need Kendrick out here, so.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Agreed. Fully agreed. He's
Yeah.
like, we had a whole show dedicated to him, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, you were saying you were salty about the breakup with U.N.I, which is obviously natural.
Yeah.
But with change comes growth.
Mhm.
How do you feel like you've grown since then?
I feel like I just became a more well-rounded person, you know, and I was just able to know that life has cycles. You know, there's gonna be, you know, everything is a cycle. There's ups and downs, and you just kind of have to embrace everything and be able to see the silver lining in everything. You know, when don't get too high when everything is popping, and you know, kind of like analyze everything and you know see what you can do different and to maintain that feeling. Or you know, when stuff gets too low, you know, don't go that low. Just kind of like see how it's bettering you. So. I feel like, yeah, I just grew as a person through this whole process, you know, through the breakups and everything, through all the highs and lows, maybe just to, like, look at everything and pull, like, you know, and write better songs about what's happening. I feel like I can relate to people better through the music, and, you know, people will see this on the new music that's coming out. And, yeah, I think that's how it's affected me and helped me grow.
Right. Vic, you had...
Yeah, so even though U.N.I is no longer Beautiful Day, and you were talking about visuals earlier even, but like what does that still mean to your career, that moment, that video?
Beautiful Day?
Yeah,
That represents how anything can change in an instant, you know? Like when we put the video out, I only had like 3,000 views, and then like started like just catching fire, like instantly, like, yo, how the hell did we get 20,000 views in one day? How did we get 50, 100,000? And then we hit a million views on that. And then that video premiered on MTV Sucker Free with Cypher Sounds. And we just like, you know, I'm from Inglewood, and I'm like, yo, we're on TV right now with no record label.
Jam of the week.
Yeah, no record label. Yeah, we premiered this video right after a Lupe Fiasco performance or a video or something like that. So like, just seeing how things can change instantly. Just like, you know, if you're consistent and you have the right intention behind what you're doing, you know, shit can change in an instant, you know, or it's just going to progressively get better. So that's what that video represented to me, that, you know, as long as you're consistent and you have purpose with what you're doing, you know, stuff is going to be, you're going to yield positive results at some point. And it might be instantly, or it just might be a consistent, you know, rising to whatever goal you have.
I wanted to ask, you said your boy Tomas was doing your videos. Is he still doing them too?
I'm doing my video.
You doing them?
Yeah.
You do it like selfie style? Like
that? I just co-directed my first video with my homie Paulo. So Paulo is just a new director from Portugal, and he's in London now. But I wrote this treatment, and he flew out to LA to help me shoot it. So we did the Long Live video together, you know? So this is my first like time, you know, directing. So it's gonna premiere this week.
It is?
I can't wait. The song is so good. I love that song.
That song is fire.
Fire.
Appreciate
Yes,
it. Appreciate it.
I'm hype on that one.
So
Even like how you wrote out Long Live, like I just thought it was super artistic. How you had like the paint and like it just looks like a painting, like a frame. Yeah. And I just thought, oh, that was dope. I also wanted to ask, because I always wanted to ask, all them shoes in the Cream video, whose shoes are those?
I had like 200 in there. You know what I'm saying? Like 200. And then another cat brought like 400 pairs. So we had like 800 pair of shoes on there.
Damn.
You had a flight club in your damn video.
Yeah,
because this secret game has always been A1. So that's why I was like, I wonder if this is all Thurs's shoes.
Yeah, man. I fell off on it because those are bad investments, man. Don't buy sneakers. Unless you flipping them, do not buy sneakers.
Do you have a favorite sneaker?
That's a good question.
Like a recent one?
I do. I think the Ben 23.9s are probably my favorite sneaker. Yeah. I just love I love everything about that shoe. It's like dope, you know. But recently, I do love the Union ones.
Oh.
Yeah, the black and red, and you
Yeah.
know, those are my new favorites. I can't stop wearing them. You know,
Addicted.
You know what I think is funny is how in that video, if you go watch it, there's like hella SBs, and I was on super SBs at the time. So that was actually the first video I saw before Beautiful Day.
Yeah, that was our first video. That was my first music video.
And and I thought that was amazing to me. Like, dang, it's the first video, and they got all these kicks in here. I'm like, what am I doing with my life right now? But it's just funny to see SBs coming back like full circle, and I'm like, man, all you little hype beast kids is so bad.
What a hater, Ricky. Old man Ricky over here hating on the
Right, I'm all old now, bro. Like,
Nah, I definitely remember buying too many shoes on tour and all these Dunk Exchange and sneaker pimp shows we used to do.
Oh, yeah.
Just used to like spend a dumb amount of money. I'm like, yo, I could have bought a lot of things that would have benefited me, you know. But you know, it's all experience, you know.
I think we all made that mistake at one point in our lives, buying bags or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say, do you think like your eye for, because you said you started co-directing, and I mean, I noticed the shoes, and you always are fresh. Like, does that like affect your eclectic taste and just like how you look at things now, and even when you, I guess, write and do music?
Man, what's crazy? All right, yes. I'd say more so recently, because I just went out to Belize. You know, my folks built up a house down there where they grew up. So like, I took a film crew with me down there, and then we would just go out, interview like, you know, my moms, my pops about how they grew up there, and then we were just kind of running through the city, hitting all the different locations, and then we come back to the house and just review the content, review the footage that we got, and I'm like, damn, seeing these images kind of are inspiring how I should write a song, or like, so the visual approach is definitely going to affect, you know, how I record a few different songs. I'm trying to go to different locations with the crew and like, you know, record, set up, you know, in different houses or Airbnbs, record the process, and record some songs. I think songs are going to change definitely if I can get the visuals from where I actually am. So we'll see how that comes out. It's going to be a new experiment for me.
No, that's tight.
I've been wanting to ask how the collaboration with Black Thought came about. Like, I know you were a big fan. You said like you grew up on the roots. How did that all come about?
Yeah, that's the big bro, man. Shout out to Tariq, man. That's a really good dude. I was on tour with Warren G and Kids in the Hall, and we was in New York. We was in New York for a week because we only had like one show, so we had like a stop out there. And the Roots had the Highline Ballroom. They were doing the Roots Jam session over there, and every Friday. So they invited us out. They invited us and Kids in the Hall. So, you know, Tariq introduced us, and we came out. Quest was playing the drums and everything. They slowed it down for a little bit. And then, you know, me and YO rocked it. And then we got off stage. You know, the crowd was receiving us pretty well. And then we got off stage, went up to the green room. Tariq came and gave me 5. He's like, yo, y'all did that. That was dope. I was like, it's Black Thought.
Wait a minute.
I was kind of stuck.
Black Thought.
Yeah, I was kind of stuck. I was like, yo. And then we reconnected through the homie Truck North. And then I was like, yo, man, I got to get a song with you. DJ Khalil just sent me this beat. And I sent it to him. He's like, oh, I fuck with this. I'm going to fuck with it. And he literally, like 2 hours, he sent me his verse back.
Damn.
Unheard of.
Yo, I was bugging out because I was managing this shoe store in downtown at the time. And I was just like, you know, sending out some shoes like for shipment or something like that. And I got the email. I pretty much closed the store down. I was just bumping the verse.
Oh, damn. Black Thought's in the verse.
I was wilding, man. That was a moment for me. That was super dope. So we hopefully going to work on something new real soon. We've been going back and forth. He told me to come out to New York, so
Hell yeah.
we'll see.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dream come true. Dreams do
bro.
come true.
Yeah.
Dope, man.
Hey.
Lyrically, that would just be like both of y'all on the song.
Man,
Outta
Next
here.
level.
I just feel like I could do a lot more now.
Now.
Just like, you know, so I would love to. And he's incredible. Y'all saw the freestyles he's did.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
man. Crazy.
Insane.
Man, so we're
I
going
read-
to cut.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I said we're going to cook. We're going to cook up.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. So I ran into you at Dr. Dre's studio.
All
Come
right.
to find out you write for
Yeah.
Aftermath.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about this? I was like,
all in
doing
the.
here?
Yeah, I was surprised to see you. I was like, yo,
I was
Paul,
like-
you know Andrea? Like, yo, what the hell? Yeah, man. This was crazy. I was finishing up my project at Red Bull, and at Red Bull Studios. And Jay Pounds did like the bulk of production on this project that I was trying to put out. So the session ends. Pounds is signed to Aftermath as a producer. So he leaves, he goes to Record One. I leave, I go home. I'm just chilling, and my son is like, playing with his Legos. And I get the call. I'm like, yo, we got a special request for you to come up to Record One. I was like, all right, I'm definitely trying to come up there. He's, yeah, Taheem want to talk to you, just vibe out.
Mm-hmm.
And Taheem's the homie, he's the head A&R over there, and he came to a lot of my house parties, the party in my living room.
Yeah.
So, he's been supportive of me for a long time. So I told my girl, I was like, yo, I'm about to go up here like at 9 o'clock. So I get ready, about to walk out the door, and I hear my son just choking like, fucking choking on a Lego. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm running him into the restroom. I'm trying to hit his back, get the Lego out. Then I end up putting my finger in his throat. He vomits the
Lego up.
the Lego up.
Damn.
And, my girl's panicking. I'm like, yo, just relax. She's like, should I call 911? I was like, just call him so he can check his vital signs and make sure he's good. So the ambulance come. He was good. He didn't lose too much oxygen. He didn't lose any oxygen. You know what I'm saying? He was good. But we still wanted to take him up there and make sure he was right.
Definitely.
So we didn't want the ambulance to take him. So I didn't want that bill.
Like, no, we take it from here.
He like, you good enough to drive in the car.
Right. But luckily, my girl's like, yo, I'm going to take him up here. You're good to go to the studio. I was like, what? So she looked out. Because I was going to miss the studio. I wasn't going to go. And then I get up there. I get the tour of Record One, Studio A, Studio B, the lounge. And I go back in Studio A. And I'm like chilling with Pounds, chilling with Mel. And Todd comes back in. He's like, yo, have you met Dre? I was like, nah, man, but I love to meet Dre. He's like, all right, man, he's waiting for you. He's in the lobby right now. I'm like, oh, shit.
Damn.
Like that?
Waiting for you.
I think he got you.
Yeah, I'm like, what? He's like, he's waiting for. So I walk over there. He gets up. He's like, Thurz. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, Dre. He's like, yo, I heard a lot about you, man. I'm like, man, it's an honor to meet you. We sit down, we chop it up for like an hour. He's telling me about his mindset and how he has the itch to get back into music and everything, how he's been working on all these dope films. So we have a great convo. I give him, more insight to me and what I've been working on. And we, had a cool vibe, man. And Mel comes into the lobby and he starts playing beats. He played 2 beats. And then the second one was called Sangria. And then Dre was like, you fuck with this? I was like, hell yeah, let's go make some shit. He was like, we working tonight? He's like, I wasn't trying to work tonight, but if you trying to work tonight, I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we go in and make our first song. And that was like, the birth of me being over there. So
That's
we doing
fire.
That's dope.
That
That's
is
really
so
dope,
fire.
Thanks, man.
Your life, man. That is amazing.
It's crazy.
And congrats, by the way, on that. Like,
Yeah, man. Congrats. That's
Thank you
huge.
guys. Thank you guys.
You did
man.
the joint for Anderson Paak.
Yeah, that was an accident, man.
Please
That was
tell
an
us.
Explain.
Please.
Accident. How do you
Saying.
accidentally end up on that record?
Yo, I did not know that was gonna make the album. Like, he didn't even cut the vocals to it. We just, me and Dre and my homie Black Soul, we was just cutting the record. We was just like, writing and just vibing. It was like a party in Studio B, and we was just all having fun making that record. And then they had to change the song out on Anderson's record. And Anderson's like, yo, I fuck with this. So he took it and he did his thing on there, and I was like, oh shit. Damn, I wrote on Mets. I wrote on Anderson's record. I'm on Oxnard. It was crazy.
That's tight.
pretty
It's
dope.
crazy, man.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
Magical.
Yeah, so Anderson Paak is one of the best artists out, man. He speaks for a lot of the generation. So it's an honor to be on there. I love Ventura. My favorite shit from him is I Love No Worries in Malibu.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
And Ventura, those are my top 3. So like Oxnard is right there, right after Ventura.
No
So,
Worries
like,
is so soulful,
I love it.
misogynistic amazingness. Like, it's just
yeah, I love it though.
it's so fucking good. I
No, that
agree.
shit is
That's
fire.
my favorite.
Yeah,
Shout out to Stone's Throw.
Yeah.
That one right there.
right.
So you said your top 3 was?
No Worries, Malibu, Ventura, and then right after that Oxnard.
Mine is actually Venice. I love
Venice
Venice.
is up
Love
there.
Venice.
It's a lot of colors on there.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a lot of colors, so
Yeah.
I feel like I just love that project. And then it'll be Ventura, and then I'll probably go to Malibu after Ventura.
Malibu's hard, man. But no worries, my number one.
Same.
I
Same. I thought I was the only one.
Yeah, I
like,
was-
do you even know about No Worries?
Right.
This shit is amazing.
Amazing.
amazing. I still ride to it, you know? Like, it's
Knowledge
good.
killed that shit
Yeah.
for real.
and even like the little vocal like skits, you know, between the songs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I
I
love
miss
it. I love it.
skits. Can I
Yeah.
just say that? Like, I'm gonna sound like an old head, but like those '90s kids were fire. Like,
I
Biggie
agree.
and Classic.
I
Classic.
agree. The Redman skits on Muddy Waters.
Oh, Muddy Waters. Shit.
Yeah.
Redman on some other shit. He's one of the most funny.
Yeah.
Albeit at still one of the
Yo, that
goats.
video's
Wow.
Like,
hilarious.
still, to this day,
I was
like,
watching that the other day.
The bike, that girl pulls up on the fucking bike and crashes.
Oh my
Hilarious.
God.
Hilarious. Man, I did a record with him too, man.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean,
Where was I?
they never like, it was released through an app. It was like exclusive for this one app called Concure or something like that.
Uh-huh.
It was from
Uh-huh.
Mike and Keys. So I think they're gonna re-release it. But yeah, it's me and Redman on the record, and I think
Oh, shit.
Villain Park. And then I
Oh
did
shit,
a-
Villain Park too?
Yeah.
Oh
What?
damn.
Yeah, and I think I did
Yo.
another record with Villain Park and Mez.
No, I need to hear that.
Can you like shoot us that?
I need to hear that Villain Park joint. I
You
need
gotta
to hear
check
that
it
Villain
out.
Park joint.
It's hard.
I
It's
never
hard.
knew about that one.
Yeah,
Shit.
they never publicly released it. You know, it's just been on this app.
This hurts my soul.
Yeah.
Come on,
And they
man.
dope records too. Like Redman was getting off, so I was like, you know, it was a good time, man.
Reggie Noble, man.
Yeah.
So good.
So I want to ask. You said Jay Pounds. Are you
Yeah.
working on a project with Jay Pounds?
Man, I got like 3 albums with
What?
Shit.
You
Yeah,
made it
man. I got like 3 albums with Jay.
You said
Pounds.
8
Oh
hours.
man.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a vault.
Yeah, man, that's my guy, man. You
Who
know.
else? What other secret projects have you like? Who else did we miss?
Oh,
Thurz?
Thurz just be
Oh,
over there
shit.
tucked with records
By
for
the
no
way,
reason.
Dude, I got too much. I wasn't putting out music for a minute. I was just
You
recording.
didn't?
Yeah, I was just recording. I had like a lot of material, but I was like, I just didn't know the best way to release it in this climate. I'm like, damn, you got to get on playlists. You got to play all these politics and, you know, to be heard by the masses. You know, the blog era has kind of changed.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of, you know, I don't know, just assessing how to successfully put something out and be well received and be heard. So I was just kind of like studying and just kind of like bettering my craft. But I got a lot of material, man. So, you know,
You got stuff coming up though, cause
Yeah.
you released long lived.
yeah, I'm trying to put out some. I'm trying to purge out my my hard drive. So, you know, I was like, you know, I can't sit on all this. I can't sit on all this music. So let me put this out and, you know, start doing more parties and.
That's
start-
all.
Yeah, the
start
parties in my
performing.
living room, which I still never went
Side
to,
note:
so
parties in my
gotta
living
go.
room is like some of my best
memories,
memories of life. Love parties in my living room.
Keeps telling you to
Yeah.
miss. I'm sad.
I've been to
Man.
3, I think, and every single one. I'm like, man, where's Thurz? I'll be just at the house, like, where's Thurz throwing another
When
party?
is the next one, Thurz?
Man, I was trying to do June 22nd. We're gonna see if it's gonna happen.
Where? Where's this one gonna be?
Malibu.
I'm there. I'm fucking
okay.
there. That sounds so
Yeah,
fire.
we're gonna try to do it. I'm working on Toronto right now.
Ooh,
Oh, damn.
International Thurz.
Yeah.
International Thurz. That's the new name.
Hey, I like that. I like that. It got a good ring to it. I like it.
Swagger International. That was a Neptune's like clip song. Right?
Yeah, I think
I'm
so.
like,
I think so.
Swagger International. I'm like, someone please. I remember. Did you have any special, like, favorite memories from parties in my living room? Since I missed, can you tell me some of your favorite memories that happened there?
Man, damn, like all the parties were very, very, very dope. My least favorite was Halloween.
What
I'll
happened?
say that.
You said least?
My least favorite was Halloween, dog. I was exhausted, man. I was doing everything, you know. I just had like, it was just too much for me to handle with myself. So I had to like really have a team to really successfully pull it off the way I envisioned it. But it was a success, you know. They had like 800 people there,
Damn.
like in this damn
Damn.
house in this backyard.
Shit.
It was popping. It was popping. I was just like for myself.
You just were like, I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, I was tired, man. And we
Good
didn't
night,
end. We didn't end until 4 a.m. I'm
Damn.
like, damn. All right.
People
so,
get sloppy?
Yeah,
It was Halloween, so I'm figuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been gross out there, man.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was fun. I just wish I didn't have to. I wish I had, more. I wish it wasn't just me in London. This is me in London. Really
Oh, your manager,
pretty much
Chris?
manning it down. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man.
Yeah.
Mess.
And
That is too much.
yeah, I did it at the wrong house. Had like, yeah, it was stressful after the fact because I'm like, I ain't even gonna get into it.
Oh, you're like, I don't even want to relive that
Yeah, I
shit,
ain't
to be
gonna
honest.
But my favorite one, the Get Out. They when I partnered with Jordan Peele
And did they get
You
out?
did?
I was
Wait,
at that
what? You
one.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
That's
crazy.
really
Now, where was this one at?
This is in
Baldwin Hills. I was there for that one.
Yeah,
And
this was
what?
crazy.
How did you guys incorporate the movie into the event?
I just did like a whole bunch of different activations. I had live painting. I had these frames all across the house. They're like those digital frames that change pictures. So
Yeah.
we had like assets from the film, and we just programmed it.
Oh,
on
dope.
chip, and then
Y'all gave out T-shirts too.
yeah, we had
What?
T-shirts. We had on-site printing for Pimler T-shirts and everything. So
Damn.
OT Genesis came out.
What?
I was about to say I was randomly
What?
walking with a drink in my hand. And I looked to the left and I was like,
Is that?
"That's OT Genesis." He was just chilling right there. I was like, "All right, bet."
Star-studded event.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
It went up. I think I had a Mono Mari there, DJ Head.
Oh,
Yeah, Mono
Oh,
Mari
yeah,
was
DJ
there.
Head everywhere.
My boy Fat Run. My boy from Toronto, Rich Kid. It was packed, man. It was crazy. It was a really good event. So I definitely got to bring it back. The city needs it, man.
I was gonna say, and the thing I like about it is it's like safe and it's for like minorities. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a safe minority. Like nothing don't happen. Everybody having a good
It's
time.
just all
Yeah.
love, good vibes.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
it's all
dope.
about.
Yeah, that's
it.
awesome.
I have to go to the
Yeah.
next one. I'm done.
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
be
done.
there. You
I've
gotta
been
be
missing.
there.
Yeah.
I'm so
We all got to
sorry.
pull up.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
Gang.
For sure. I'm already like, yeah, everybody's like, I hit up a few people already about performances, so it's gonna go
Yeah,
up.
okay.
Hell
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So for the next project, would you say it's gonna continue off of these party in my living room kind of vibes? Is it gonna be like a fun, energetic album, or?
It's gonna be a lot of things, man. It's just hard to just what I want to like. I guess put into my next project is just like the spectrums of adulthood. You know what I'm saying? So like being on the scene and then trying to be a dad at the same time. So I just want to like reflect on all those things in my next project. So it'll be some party in my living room vibes, and then some retrospective, raps as well. So it'll be a colorful project.
It'd be versatile.
Yeah, eclectic. I love albums like that. They're just
Dope.
all over. Like you get this kind of a vibe,
Yeah.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what the next thing will sound like. And yeah, man, I'm excited for people to hear the new tunes for sure.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, man. I'm excited
Oh.
to hear.
Dope.
Yeah.
I heard you mention Black Soul. Did you have a question for him about Nana?
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
because
if you
Nana
wanna
was on the
ask-
show.
That's my guy.
Nana's family for us. Yeah.
That's my bro,
What does
man.
it mean to you to like kind of be a mentor, like an OG to some of these artists? Nana.
Nana's the bro, man. I think he has a great talent. One of the best rappers in LA right now.
Facts.
And yeah, just that he even respects me like that. I'm like, damn, I'm just trying to be cool. But that's the homie. He shows me love. I try to incorporate him in all my visual content and try to keep him in the studio whenever I can have guests or whatever. But we got a few records. We got a few records cut together, and I see he has a lot of potential, man. So I think he's gonna make us proud in LA for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, being like a OG in the LA underground scene. Like I remember I first came across you on. I was really into Kixie Siete. You did the California Dreamin' track with him, and I fell in love with your music like immediately after that. Like I checked you out. So being like an OG in like that LA scene, how do you feel about like its growth so far, and you guys like really like painting a different sound? Because for years we've just been like known as that bounce, which isn't bad, but like that's the trademark for it. But you guys have really like, you Overdose, now Villain Park is coming into the scene, just like everybody that's coming up. Like how do you feel like just seeing it all evolve? Like how do you feel about that, and anyone that we should look out for?
Man, it's dope to see the evolution of everything. I just feel like there's no like parameters to like what you can really do with the music. Like you can do anything, and if it's authentic, it's gonna like resonate with the audience. So, seeing Overdose and like seeing Villain Park do their thing, I feel like it's all coming from the same soil, but they're all just so in their own lane. So everybody's representing LA the way it should be. Who to look out for? I'd say y'all probably know Tiffany Goucher already. I think she's one of my favorite artists. Look out for Fat Ron, Look out for the homie Don over here.
Hey,
who else? My little brother Kobe's producing. He got his little crew. Shout out to Produced by Kobe. Trying to think who else I'm like a big fan. Mez got some really dope stuff on the way. Look out for everybody from the Aftermath family tree, man. Osby Chill is dope. He rocks with Game. There's so much talent, man. I don't even want to like look out for Jazzy and Mount Omari got some new stuff coming. Support all the homies, man. Support the homies. Hashtag support the homies. Yeah.
Amen. Support the homies, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sad. Like we have to wrap it up now. But
Wait, can I ask one more question?
Go ahead, one more.
Because you mentioned Crisscross.
Yeah.
That's what got me into rap was Crisscross. But I just Nip loved Crisscross too. I just wanted to know like, your thoughts on Nip or
On Nipsey.
Yeah.
Man. And so he's definitely a martyr. You know what I'm saying? Like his mindset and his message was really unheard of on like the level that we heard it at. Like when you look at his like most recent freestyles, nobody got on and flexed the way he was flexing. Everybody tries to do this lyrical miracle thing, but he's giving you like
Gems.
truth and gems in his raps. And then Victory Lap was his best project. Like there's no wasted bars on that album. So just to see his growth from I first caught wind of him with Bullets Ain't Got No Names when I was at LMU, and it's like, yo, I love his voice. He was like, he sounded hard and he sounded hungry, and to see the evolution of him turn into an entrepreneur and really fulfill his name, Nipsey Hussle. Like you saw the hustle in him, and you respected it from selling a $100 mixtape, and then really revolutionizing Slauson and Crenshaw. That intersection. Nobody used to go to that Shell gas station like that. I used to go to Master Burger, but I wasn't gonna hang out on the gas station. Like, I'm not gonna get caught slipping over here. But like, he brought so much light to that district. And that wasn't my homeboy like that, but like, I've been around through the Mike and Keys, my relationship with them, so I was able to see him in the studio, see the work ethic, share the stage with him a few times. And man, for the city to lose him it's heartbreaking. He was really about to do it bigger. You saw the GQ spread, you saw everything he was doing, you saw the business moves, Vector 90. So, damn, to get shot in your own neighborhood is like, fuck. But, the marathon does continue. He's a martyr. And, like, now there's a void that needs to be filled. And, he's planting 100 seeds. So it's going to be 100 more Nipseys that start to, evolve and come to the light with a positive message that's going to revolutionize their community. So I hope to be part of that marathon as well. So, those are my words for Nip. Yeah.
I'm glad you asked that. I had it here, and then I was like, we didn't get to it. But, no, that was essential. So thank you, man. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you for
in
coming
today
down, man.
so
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Man, thank
This
you,
is
man.
So fun. You want to drop your handles or where people can find you?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, King Thurz, Thurz. Thursday on Twitter with a Z. YouTube, youtube.com/Thursday. What else? Follow me on Spotify. I need those numbers to go up.
Yes.
I need my streams.
Make sure y'all peep Party in My Living Room.
Yeah.
Malibu.
There we go.
Party in my little.
Yeah, follow
Malibu.
Party in My Living Room on Instagram. It's just the way it sounds. Party in My Living Room. And hit the website. It's under construction, but it's still up. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, be on the lookout for the next party. And, yeah, man, support me and support all of LA.
Hey, you said it, Thurz. Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
fam.
Thanks for listening,
All
y'all.
right, then. See you guys
Sure.
later. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.